Innovation is a broad term, and it's thrown around a lot. In this episode, Chris Coombs and Lee Schrager expand on what this term means from their perspective. Managing food in a growing population, healthy eating in our public schools, and of course, social media will all be discussed. How do you feel innovation fits into food as an industry, but also some of these problems and issues?
Sure. So I think innovation is important in every industry, but with food, it's such a huge part of our daily lives, and it's a part of everyone's lives. When you look at many other sectors, whether it be technology, it's not necessarily a part of everyone's life, but everyone eats. So you can really look at the problems globally, and I think through innovation, we're going to come up with greater solutions for things like population growth, or solutions for, like I spoke on the panel earlier about, public school meals that are, drastically under-preparing our children for good nutrition, and setting them up for successful eating based on socioeconomic backgrounds. I think we're really fortunate, and most of my businesses are in fine dining, and it's, eating for pleasure and fun and to put photos on Instagram. And, there are people who are still eating to survive. So I think that always keeping a focus on that and understanding that there's the other side of food too that we can't just forget about. So.
How do you feel having food be such a big part of an innovation industry?
Well, I think it's a natural. I mean, not everyone's into fashion, not everyone's into art, not everything's into sports, everyone's into food. So it's only natural that it's so innovative. And every conversation that we have in our lives takes place over a meal, above, around a meal. So it's only, people are, social media has made food as pop culture as anything out there today. So no surprise how innovative it is to me.
And where do you stand on the whole social media craze or trend with food?
Well, I love social media for how much it can help somebody out, and I dislike social media when people abuse it.
And I think just one more question, and it's just near and dear to my heart, because I'm a huge taker of food pictures.
Sure.
And that was another topic that came up in the panel just a few moments ago. And there was some mention of certain chefs not liking it, and there was some mention of a huge amount of support for it. So I'm just curious as to where you stand on that spectrum.
I love it. I believe that as humans,
we'll get along just fine.
Right? As humans, we eat with our eyes first, and I think that Instagram's the best thing that's ever happened to food. I really do. Just the idea of sharing knowledge and food ideas with so many people on such a large scale. One of the things as chefs that most of us desire is to be discovered, to be recognized, to be out there, and just, because I believe we're artists at the end of the day. And most artists just want somebody to look at their painting and think that it's beautiful. And as a chef, I really look toward Instagram because I'm able to share how my cuisine appears to those who may never even have an opportunity to eat it. And it's wonderful to get feedback from places like Singapore or India or Australia, and they're like, wow, I'll probably never travel to the United States, but your food's really inspirational, and you inspire me to cook at home or to want to be a chef. And I think just keeping people passionate about food in general and about our industry, it's so exciting.
Is there any particular issue in the food industry that you feel would really benefit from an innovative push, either from millennials or other?
Well, I think there are probably lots of issues in the food industry, like any industry. I think, I think what's important, the question out there is, what are we eating today and where is it coming from? And I think people want to know what they're putting into their body. And I think that, full disclosure and truth in advertising is going to be more and more prevalent and more in your face, moving forward. And I think that's a good thing. This whole fast food craze, which is great, and it's easy and delicious, and that's what most of us grew up on. But I think that will be changing. And I think that it's important that we're held responsible for what we're serving and what we're consuming.
Clearly, food is for everyone. And as Chris and Lee both state, innovation in food provides creative solutions to some pressing issues. But don't worry, your Instagram photos of food are still an important part of this conversation.